Hello, everybody, and welcome to the recap of the Shuffle and round 39. We just finished doing round 39 about Friday on my end, and on YouTube it was yesterday. And we're going to get to it. We're going to do the recap, and we're also going to do because we finished the game, we're going to do a God of War tier list. So I'll have the, if you want to skip to that, I'll have the time in it in the description, and I'll have that ready to go and have the chapters and everything. So let's start. So, for the first time in a while, Chain of Memories is not in the bottom. First time in a long time. I think it's been round 32 was the last time. Yeah. And that was the final boss of Triforce Heroes. So it's been, what, 7 rounds since then now? But, so this, what is in 7th then, if it's not going to be Chain of Memories, is going to be the Dim Dragon Plus segment from Golden Sun Dark Dawn. This was in Golden Sun was in 5th last time, it moved down to 7th, and that is because this is the exact same segment. There is zero difference between this and the Dim Dragon segment. It was the same thing. I was pretty frustrated. It was like, so we're just doing the same thing? That's it? We go through the different lighthouses and everything, and we fight the Dim Dragon, but it's a harder version now. Woo! But it wasn't even hard, so. Okay. That was pretty disappointing, to be honest. I know it was like a side mission, so maybe I shouldn't have counted it, but counted all the bosses. But yeah, pretty disappointing. I didn't enjoy it at all, to be honest. It took me 15 minutes, 27 seconds. It was like 15 minutes, like, well, that was a waste of time. But the next round we'll go is the Stealthy Scouts. So I don't know what that is, but it sounds that sounds much cooler. Next up, moving up to 6th place. This was in 6th place last time. Or 7th place last time, like always. Now it's at 6, so I mean, it didn't move up a whole lot, but Chain of Memories is right there. This is the Recap Replica 4 segment. I enjoyed this segment a lot more. It was just the boss. That's all it was. It was the Riku Replica boss. 3, right? Not 4, right? Hold on. 1, 2. This is just the 3rd one. I'm sorry. There's the 3rd Riku Replica fight. I was thinking it was the 4th. It's just the 3rd. We got it pretty quickly. I think this is the best one, but it's also kind of like he could come. He's like, "I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you," and I'm like, "No, just back up a little bit. Just back up a little bit." But it didn't take us very long, which is also a factor for me too. It took us 14 minutes 4 seconds, 2 deaths, so not super long. 2 minutes less than the previous Riku Replica segment, so whatever. And next, I'm excited. We're going to Destiny Islands next, that's pretty cool. It's Sora's hometown, and we're fighting Darkseid. Surprise! The mainstay of the Kingdom Hearts boss, all Kingdom Hearts bosses. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know how Darkseid will be in a card combat setting, so we'll see how that goes. Next up, this was in 4th the previous time, moved down to 5th, and that is the Tower of Spirits 4 from Spirit Tracks. This took us 1 hour, 40 minutes, 5 seconds, 0 deaths. A lot of this was, I did some extra stuff, caught some bunnies, and, you know, kind of just some cleanup and things like that. Got a heart container and 2. Did some cleanup before we went, and it was like, oh, we're just going to go in, and then, you know, it'll be quick, because Tower Spirits are always quick. And it took a little bit longer because of that. I actually thought this Tower Spirits section was awesome. It was a lot about, like, using teleportation. And so, like, one person would be on one pad, the other person would switch. A lot of puzzle had to do with that. I really enjoyed this whole section, honestly. Also with, like, it's got a difficult puzzle. I thought the puzzle itself was not easy at all, and I enjoyed that tremendously. Pretty cool segment, though, if you want to go check that out. The next segment, I think, is the Fire Temple. So we're going to the Fire area. I'm guessing it's the Fire Temple. And I'm going to go fight the boss, Kragma. I don't remember Kragma, so hopefully that'll be a good one. Moving up to 4th place, this is in 6th last time, moving up to 4th, and that is the final segment of God of War, that is Ares. So there are 3 main parts of the Ares fight. The first part was, I loved the first part. The first part was very cool. It was this kind of mano-a-mano fight with Ares. I thought it was super cool. You're trying to learn his attacks and attack timings and everything, so you can parry it and everything, get a good hit in. Super cool. I like that a lot. Then you have this other section, the second section, where it's like you are trying to save your family. And it's like all in Kratos' head, but you're basically like a bunch of clones of Kratos are coming in, and like you are trying to stop all of them from hitting it, and it was so frustrating and so hard. I just don't understand why they made something like such a difficult spike in difficulty there. It turns out the secret was to go square square and then hold square, and that kind of does a little whine, and then it knocks people back. Super easy once I started doing that, but I didn't know how to do it. I had to look up, like, all right, how do I do this? Which I don't like doing that, but it was like, I've been here for a hot minute, and I'm not having fun doing this. And then it goes to a third phase where it's just like, it's you and Ares again, you have like a shared health bar, and it goes back and forth like this. If you go on there, I talk about like different segments and stuff like that. It's, I didn't like this as much as the first one. I think the first segment is easily the best one. But, you know, what can you do about that? But it was alright. Not too bad. Not too bad. But, yeah, that one took me 2 hours, 15 minutes, 48 seconds, 77 deaths. I struggled a lot on this segment. But we are done with God of War. That is the end of God of War. Stay tuned at the end of this, and we'll talk about the, you know, boss tier list and everything for this. I did actually find one this time, so be ready for that. The next up, though, we're going to God of War Ghosts of Sparta. I am trying to find a way to stream that. I might have to emulate it, is what it seems like, because there's no way to stream off PS3. I have it, like, right here on my shelf. Where are you? Where are you? That's not it. I have it right here. Right here. Like, but I don't have a way to stream that, unfortunately, which is why Ascension and Chains of Olympus weren't streamed. It's because I don't have a way to stream them. So I might try to find get a PSP emulator and stream it that way. I think that's the only way to do it. But there you go. So that's what's next. The start of Ghost of Sparta. I don't know what to expect with that. So, well, we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I've ever played that game. So, all right. Next up, we have this was in second place, moved down to third place, and has nothing to do with that it dipped in quality at all, even though it was just really hard. But it was more of I enjoyed the other two more. That's pretty much it. And that is the Chapter 6 Seaside from Celeste. This took me 33 minutes, 23 seconds, 212 deaths. So, way less deaths than the Chapter 6 B side, or the Chapter 6, but more than the A side. So, I thought this was a pretty cool segment. They didn't have any of the stuff about, like, the battle line segments wasn't in there at all, which I thought was interesting. But, like, the final section was just like, this is so hard, and, I don't like the mechanic of the, oh, no, blocks as much, and so, they were giving a very heavy emphasis this time, and so that wasn't my favorite, but overall, it's just awesome. It's an awesome game, and Chapter 6 Seaside is just very, very fun. Moving up to second place, which has been third last time. It is up to second this time. Might break into first next time, now that, you know, something else is going to be not as high. And that is the Human Core X segment from Metroid Fusion. This took me 51 minutes, 34 seconds, so I think this is the longest segment we've had in Metroid, which is nice for me. So basically what happened is you have to go to the heat area, and the timer starts going off because something in the SAX or something is going on. So you're like trying to run through very quickly. You're on a timer, and it's really cool to see everything. And you get there and everything, and the boss is really easy. It's just like a core. That's all it is. It looks like a human, turns into a core immediately. Not hard boss at all. So the boss wasn't cool, but it was like the entire atmosphere of like you're in this rush the entire time just to get to it I thought was so much fun. I really, really like this segment. So that's where that one comes from. Next up we have, it's called Yakuza X. I don't know what that is. I know there's a giant spider. That might be the giant spider. That could be it, but I really don't know what this particular thing is, but I love Metroid so far, so this game is really fun, so I'm really, really enjoying it. And moving up to first, it was in first last time. It's in first again. It probably is not going to hit number 1 from here on out, but there's a chance it will. But it is the Season of Infamy from Arkham Knight. This one took me 2 hours, 13 minutes, 19 seconds. 0 deaths, though. And this is basically the 4 DLC segments from Arkham Knight. I'll try to do it in the order that we did it. The first one we did was a Mr. Freeze segment. Basically, you got on a boat, you found Mr. Freeze, he is trying to save Nora, but they've kidnapped her. You go save her and let her out of the cryostasis chamber, and she basically convinces Victor to let her die, because she's tired of being cooped up and being frozen eternally. So, really sad start there. Next one we have was the Ra's al Ghul segment. So basically, we have there's 2 warring factions in the League of Assassins. We have the loyalists to Ra's al Ghul and the rebels, which is one of Ra's daughters, Nissa, Talia's sister, is leading that segment. So it's basically these 2 warring factions, and you end up with the choice of, like, do you save Ra's al Ghul because you cannot kill, or do you kill him because he's already been dead so many times? I left it up to chat. They chose to save Ra's al Ghul, which ended up killing Nissa, which is obviously not the ending you want. So that happened, but that's what chat chose. Next up, we have the Killer Croc segment. Basically, there was this giant floating prison. It crashes. They had gotten Killer Croc, and they were heavily experimenting on him, and he wanted revenge on the Warden. So you stop Killer Croc, which is sad. Killer Croc didn't do anything wrong here. He was just getting experimented on. His body was, because he could regrow limbs and stuff like that. It was horrible, horrible experimentation. So you just stop Killer Croc. And then the last segment is the Mad Hatter segment. You save cops from cop cars that were has sirens and everything, and then you basically are teleported inside this storybook that is the events of the 3 games. So it was a good way to end. And it's kind of one page is Arkham Asylum, 1 page Arkham City, 1 page Arkham Knight, and you save all the officers and break the mind control again. And then we did the Nightfall, where it's kind of basically he's done being Batman. So that is the end of the base game and DLC of Arkham Knight. The only thing we have left, and the reason we're not done with the game, is we have a couple Arkham episodes. There's a Red Hood one, there's a Catwoman one against the Riddler, there's a Nightwing one, and a Robin one. Tim Drake Robin. I know I'm doing it in the order of events, which means the next one is the Red Hood segment, where he tries to take down Black Mask, which will be that'll honestly be pretty cool. I don't know if it'll reach the top just because it's very short, and there are other games that are doing pretty good right now. But that'll be pretty good. But yeah, there is your recap. If that is what you're here for, there's the end of that. But that is it. Let's go and since we have finished God of War though, let's go and let's talk about the bosses. So let me pull up my tier list here. And let me pop that over. Alrighty, so you can't, hang on, let me a second, let me move my camera. There we go. Alright, so you can see here we have, not a whole lot of bosses in God of War, but we have Ares, we have the Pandora's Guardian, we have the Hydra, and we have Medusa. So let's start, and let's go through the game here. So we have the Hydras. I thought all the Hydras were pretty good. I thought Hydra was an awesome boss. A really, really cool boss to start with. It doesn't reach the highs of some of the highest, but it doesn't reach the lows of the lowest either. I thought it was a very, very good, solid starting boss, and so I'm going to put it up into the A tier. I think as an A tier boss, the mechanics of you have to take out the 2 heads, they're kind of breathing you back and forth. I honestly really enjoyed that. The fact that you can block most of the attacks if you're good at parrying, I thought was great. And then you run up the boxes, crash them into it so the heads stay. And then you have this deal with the big boss battle himself. And then you climb into its gullet and grab the key and everything. I like that whole segment. I think it's an A tier boss. Next we have Medusa. If this was a fight that was they had workshopped a bit more, I think could have done something. but it is the same exact fight as every single Gorgon from here on out. The same fight, even not as strong. She's supposed to be the queen of the Gorgons, but yet she is probably the weakest Gorgon you fight in the game. I think this is a terrible boss. I think if they would have made this a unique thing, I think it would have been much cooler. Especially if they would have really just kind of elevated it and expanded upon the idea that they have. Would have been great. But no, nothing there. Next up, we have Pandora's Guardian. Now remember that everything in here is, as far as this game in particular goes, this is the best boss in the game. This is the S tier. This is an S tier, absolutely. Absolutely an S tier. This is an incredibly fun fight. The whole thing is you have to make sure you jump at the right time because he will slam into the wall with you. And then you keep hitting him, and you're knocking off his armor. And at the very end, you shoot a ballista into him. And it's such a good fight, man. It's such a good fight. So, and last but not least, Ares. I'm going to put Ares in the B tier. I think if you just had the first section is an S tier. The second section, where you're protecting your family, is C. We'll say C. It's cool. It's really it's like S tier as far as story goes, but actual gameplay and everything is just really frustrating. And the final section's like B tier. It's like a B tier. It's fine, but it's just not nearly as good as the first phase. So as a whole, I gotta put it in the B tier. You could call it low A if you want to, but I don't think it's as good as the Hydra King. So there is my tier list. That was really quick, but there's only 4 bosses, so there's not much to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. I enjoyed the heck out of playing God of War. I'm super excited to move on to Ghost of Sparta and God of War 2, 3, God of War 2018, and then finally, I've never played Ragnarok before, and I'm excited to get there. So thanks guys so much for watching, and like, subscribe, hang in there. Have a great day, and bye-bye.